Hello. I had to reboot everything and log into everything. So the news this week. I had an accident in the kitchen. Hi, Strider. I'm okay, but it could have been worse. Hey, Sid. Also scheduled vaccine number 3. Oh, I microwaved food, and the paper cup got hot enough to burn. Like, it burned flesh. So I've kinda had to restrict what I do with that hand so that I don't tear it open. I was actually okay playing Mario Kart, but we only needed to press and hold, but apparently that a little too much. Any? Anywhere. You know what's a horrible way to die? Covered in chili. It could have been worse had I dropped it. Well, if you saw the photo on the other Twitter, you can see the spatter up the wall. Like I came very close to wearing it. I don't know what I would have done had that happened. Probably code 911 and strip naked. I'd die of embarrassment. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the game. Oh right, I rebooted it. Yeah, time to finish this episode, I hope. Why is my voice making popping noises again? The quick red fox jumped over the lazy brown dog. The quick red fox jumped over the lazy brown dog. There we go. October 19, 327 Wright and Company Law Offices. And my program isn't working. Well, one sixth. I think I know what causes it. I was testing this with Final Fantasy early. So whenever I delete the catch to the Unity plugin thing, it crashes the plugin if I don't recreate the file. Yep, there we be. Press set to start. Of course, when I empty the cache, all the menu words pop up again. October 19, 327. Right co. Lot offices. I need to fix period is always a word break. I keep reminding myself to, and then forget about it. So one of the pieces of software I wrote has a page of regular expressions. And that's how it decides if OBS or VTS will display a scene. But also in that logic is a text amount limiter that breaks on periods. Which things like Mr. and Mrs. are accounted for, but not number. And not co. Phoenix. That was a close one, huh, Mia? Now, one fix I put in explicitly play for this game is actually in the text grabber. Because if you notice, these are actually two lines. But if you go back to like the second or third video, I was actually having to edit the lines. Hang on a moment, I hear someone having a problem with the front door. Okay, someone's Chinese food delivery guy couldn't get a hold of their customer. So they kept pulling on the door. And I was hearing click, 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 click from inside my apartment. Anyway, I let them in and made sure they went to the unit they said they were going to. The buzzer in my building is completely broken. Only works for some units. My unit, I can hear but nobody can hear. Also, I can't open the door from my unit. Whereas the work units can sometimes. Anyway, back to the game. We're only one line in, and it's already been 30 minutes of scuff. Maya, really, too bad. I'm sorry I missed it. Phoenix. Maya. Maya, so what happened? Phoenix, well, I think I've got a pretty good idea who did it. Now all I need is a motive. And proof. Maya, wow, good going, Nick. Phoenix, under the initial trial system, tomorrow is the last day we have. Maya, initial trial, what's that? Phoenix, that's the new court system they introduced 2 or 3 years ago. Now keep in mind this is Japan, and the setting is 2016 from a 2001 perspective. And also Japan recently did change things. Yeah. A new lay judge law was enacted in 2004 and came into effect in May 2009, but it only applies to certain serious crimes. It would be kind of like having a jury of three people. So not the thing in the game. Phoenix, they had so many cases in the system, they decided to speed the whole process up. Maya, so, under that system, trials have to end in 3 days. Well, actually, because it's a game, you need a deadline. Otherwise, you can just keep exhausting all the conversation options. Like in reality, many court cases take years. And the only reason they do so is because they don't have enough judicial capacity for it. Like, take the case of Meng Wanzhou. She was arrested in Canada on behalf of the United States. And then China kidnapped Canadians to try and force Canada to comply. Meng spent like 3 years in Canada. Here's the thing. Ultimately, the only reason Meng was arrested at all was because of laws that aren't really that just in the first place. You know, the Panama Papers. How billionaires hid billions from their governments. That the kind of thing that should have the loopholes closed. And really, the crime in this case was just doing the exact same thing, but with different countries. So ultimately, I didn't care what the outcome of that case was, but it would make Canada look like a wimp if the didn't do all the legal work they were supposed to do. Whereas I'm sure China would just as soon execute foreign nationals without a trial if they didn't need to trade with those countries. So the richer you are, the more about optics it is. Can you imagine if, like, China arrested, say, Bill Gates despite never having set foot in the country before? That's the kind of optics it probably looked like. Any. Like, I can see why it was probably not a good look for Canada to China, but because Canada's court system is slow it could have been done within a few weeks, not years. But it probably worked in Meng's favor to just stay put in Canada until different presidents were elected, because the previous president wanted to use her as a bargaining chip. Anyway, it's just one of those things that the media just spent way too much time on. Unfortunately, Canada's proximity to the United States often results in things happening, and Canada gets the splashback from it. Back to the game. Maya. So, under that system, trials have to end in 3 days. Phoenix. Yeah, pretty much. Well, we've no time to waste. Phoenix, I don't get it, Maya. Why would Mr. Hammer steal the Steel Samurai costume? Maya, what? You mean Mr. Hammer was wearing the costume? Phoenix, yeah. Maya, maybe Mr. Hammer was the victim, Nick. Maya, why would he go through the trouble of stealing it? Phoenix, that's what we have to find out. Maya, what happened with the director testimony? Phoenix, well, it's pretty clear that the producer and the director were both in the trailer. Maya, huh? Phoenix, which means that the killer has to be one of them. Maya, really? Why? Phoenix, because the real scene of the crime was Studio 2, where that trailer is. Sorry, I keep having to sneeze. Maya, why at? Phoenix, and was May always this excitable? Phoenix, well, have you noticed anything that might help us? Maya, I can't see what's going on when Mia is he. Somber! I hadn't noticed anything. Phoenix, right. Maya, maybe we should go talk to WP. Phoenix, WP Power's right. October 19. Detention Center. Visitor's room. Well, Mr. Wright, you did very well again today, thank you. Phoenix, oh thanks. Could you not look like you're about to burst into tears? Maya, wow, Nick, you must have really woed him in there. Phoenix, and could you wipe that grin off your face? Maya, hey WP, only one day left. Let's make it count. Well, yes. Though there's not really anything I can do to help. Maya, ha ha ha. I'm not really sure what I can do either. Phoenix, please, this is no laughing matter. Could you tell me more about Miss Vasquez? Will, the producer. She's well respected in the industry. They say she's a genius. Maya, a genius. Will, she's been at Global Studios for 5 years now. Will, right or wrong, nobody dares tell her different these days. Phoenix, why is that? Well, ever since she came on board, we've had nothing but hits. Global Studios was on its knees, but she picked it up and made it shine. Oh, and Mia, and what? Will, then nothing. Forget it. I've only heard rumors, anyhow. Phoenix, can you tell me anything about Mr. Manila? Will, oh, he used to be a minor straight-to-video director. Okay, context. Straight to video. Think Disney sequels. Well, but something in his work caught Vesqua's eye. She brought the Steel Samurai idea to him. Now, everyone knows the name Sal Manoa. I hear he's pretty much at her beck and call the... Whenever she says jump, he asks, how high, and all that. Phoenix, I can imagine being at her beck and call, though I can't imagine him jumping. Maya, I was wondering about Mr. Hammer. He was a big star back in the day, right? But then he just dropped off the face of the earth. Will, oh. Yes, you're right. In fact, he was my role model when I started in this business. But he just stopped taking on big roles. That when he began appearing in little productions at Global. Maya, how could he do that? I was really looking forward to a sequel to Samurai Summer. Well, he just gave up being a star 5 years ago. Actually, now that I think about it. That was right when Miss Vasquez came to Global. Phoenix, 5 years ago. Whom? Well, I guess that would not be a surprise. A live-action performance would not be the film's star. Oh, here we go again. Wendy's having none of it. October 19 Global Studios main gate. Wendy sends an icy stare at you. Maya, the old windbag sure is quiet today. You know, this place is really peaceful like this. Nick? I think her guard's down. Phoenix, yeah? Maya, I bet we could even eat those donuts in the guard station if we wanted. So, a refresher, Wendy liked Mr. Hammer. Wendy, you eat, you die. Mia, woo, she's alive. Phoenix and I was wondering about Dee Vasquez, the producer. Wendy, oh, the studio bigwigs love her. So she always gets her way. Phoenix, she seems bitter. Maya, do you not like the producer? Wendy, look, the studio people don't want me talking about her, so sorry. Phoenix, can I ask you about Salmonella, the director? Wendy, Sal, he's soft, a pushover, does whatever Vasquez tells him to. She treats him like dirt, but I think he likes it. Maya, ha, why would anyone like being treated like dirt? That doesn't make any sense, does it, Nick? Phoenix, or no, it doesn't, Maya. It's an adult thing my worry dude consents to be treated like a couch. Phoenix, about Mr. Hammer. Wendy, arg. I heard about what you said today. Cheeky whippersnapper. Poor old Hammer. You drag his star down from the sky and stomp on it. Calling him a criminal. A thief. I won't forget this. Phoenix? Oh no, she's really pissed this time. When do you listen to me, whippersnapper, mapper? My poor old hammer would never do such a thing. Why would he steal Powers' costume so he could sneak by me? He would never stoop so low. It's impossible. October 19, Studio 1 entrance. Who's Broly Strider? I figured it might be a Dragon Ball character. I've never actually seen any of the show. All I know about it is from people making references to it. And the Super Saiyan thing. Which, if I had never heard what it was from, I would have said it was from Sonic the Hedgehog. I Maya, think back, Nick, to the day of the murder. Mister, Hammer put on the steel samurai costume. Then he left from here to go to Studio 2. Phoenix, right? Maya, but why? I wonder if someone called him, like the director or the producer. Maya, say, Nick, how did you figure that out again? Phoenix, what? Actually, it's a long story. I'll tell you another time. Meow. October 19 Studio 2 entrance. Are we gonna have to do someone's chores again to get anything from her? Bye. Hey, Nick, it's Miss Vasquez. Maya, hello. Vasquez, dot dot dot. Maya, H-E-L. Vasquez, dot dot dot. Maya, what? What? Oh. Oh. Phoenix, and Maya, you should at least try to be polite. Vasquez, dot dot dot. I'm watching the clouds. Vasquez, dot, dot, dot. Phoenix, that's all she had to say, apparently. Maya, excuse me, mister. Hammer came here on the day of the murder, and Vasquez she. Maya, question mark. Vasquez, perhaps you didn't hear me. I'm watching the clouds. I'm not interested in talking to you. Maya, do something, Nick. She's really ticking me off. Phoenix, oh dear. You know a game I kind of want to play. Under a killing moon. It's another detective game, but it uses full motion video. I'm kind of reminded of it from the scene. Because the detective in that game has the entire inner monologue bit too. Let me see if I can find a clip. I know, I actually have the clip on my other Twitter like a few years ago. Cause Pashinka Proses wanted a reference to it. It'll take too long to find a working clip, I guess. That's what you get when a game predates YouTube. Oh, I know how I can find it quickly. Never mind. Twitter doesn't let you search that far back. Anyway, let's just move on. When we're done with this case, I'll just dig it out of something. Mr. Powers wasn't the killer. You don't have to cancel the Steel Samurai. Vasquez, I think I'm tired of the Steel Samurai. Maya, you did it. Maya. Nick, she did it. She's the killer. My Fey blood speaks to me. I know it. I know it. Phoenix. Oh dear. I think what I should die. Is change the settings on the synth so that anytime it begins with a left bracket, add reverb. Cause that would give the effect I'm hearing in my head any. Phoenix, I was wondering if you could tell me about Mr. Manella. Vasquez. Door. If you must talk about that man, perhaps you could talk about it in the trailer. By yourselves? Phoenix. Oh dear. October 19. Studio to trailer. Maya da. Wasn't the assistant cleaning up yesterday? Funny, it still seems pretty messy in here. Phoenix, I guess she was still on the high from getting that rare card she needed. Oh, my God. That movie was the best. It's about a samurai who sings his way to fame and fortune. Mr. Hammer was a very accomplished singer, you know. Phoenix singing Samurai Stars. What's next? Ninja Ballad. Samurai Summer starring Jack Hammer. This poster's quite old. Ma'am, wow, it's been years since I saw that show. It was one of those typical summer romance stories, but it was great. Phoenix, Phoenix. A typical summer romance with a samurai on a horse. Phoenix, an old movie poster. Dynamite Samurai starring Jack Hammer. I guess Smith Hammer used to be quite the star. What new comment from Maya? Hey, there are 4 cups and a thing of TV. Also 5 unfolded chairs. Back to the not scene of the crime. October 19 Global Studios Employee Array. Maya, I guess they're not filming today either. I did want to see them filming just one time. Phoenix, this trial will be over and done by tomorrow. You can come see them film later. Maya, I guess. Maya, this is where you found that bottle of sleeping pills, right? Phoenix, haha. Maya, I wonder if there are any other clues lying around. Gumshoe, no, 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 no. No touching. Gumshoe. Oh, sorry, pal. Didn't mean to frighten you. Maya didn't mean. I almost had a heart attack. Gumshoe, hey, I guess I can be a little dramatique at times. I suppose it's the actor in. Don't give up your day job, huh? Phoenix, dramatique indeed. Gumshoe, him. Anyway, I'm here to examine the plate on that table. Phoenix, wait, are you looking for sleeping pills? Gumshoe, yeah, pal. Traces thereof. Maya, so you're looking for traces of the sleeping pill's hand. Gumshoe, for a thorough examination, I gotta take the plague bag to the precinct. But I have the capabilities to make a cursory examination right here. Our science guy gave me some testing solution. This reacts to these sleeping pills. See, if there are traces, it'll change color. Now, this is a kind of truth in fiction thing. It is possible to detect for substances using tracers. Though usually a regular cop or detective won't have tracers for substances they aren't actually looking for. Like they're more likely to have tracers for methamphetamines or fentanyl. Honestly, I don't know if it's even possible to trace for a generic sleeping pill. So we'll just have to hand wave away what this is. Maya. Wow, neat. Also, the closest I ever got to tracing chemicals is pool hot tub chemicals. detection strips that you place in a sample of water and it tells you if you need to add more of something. Add too much, you burn your skin. Add too little, and your hot tub becomes a swamp. Maya, well, Detective Gumshoe, what are you waiting for? Gumshoe, now, everything in due time, pal. Gumshoe, ... Gumshoe, ... More ... dots. Well, the testing solution on the plate changed color, alright. Phoenix, so the food on this plate had been laced with sleeping pills. Gumshoe looks like it. Phoenix, how goes your investigation? Gumshoe, to tell the truth, it's a real mess, pal. Some people think we should pursue the case we already have against Powers. And some people think we should switch suspects. Maya, what do you think, Detective Gumshoe? Gumshoe, well, pal, I hate to admit it. But I'm not sure I buy the case against Mr. Powers anymore. I feel kind of bad for Mr. Edgeworth, though. Phoenix, how is Edgeworth doing anyway? Gumshoe, Mr. Edgeworth is out of control. He was in the waiting room, and he crushed this paper cup with hot coffee in it. Yeah, hope he didn't get burned like I did. Phoenix, whoa. Gumshoe, talk about burns, pal. Man, wow, the fury of Edgeworth. Phoenix, yeah, crushing paper, cuts. Phoenix, cups, bottles. Phoenix, say, whatever happened with that empty bottle? Gumshoe, oh, the bottle of sleeping pills. Well, I got some good news for you about that. They found the victim, Jackhammer's prints on the bottle. Maya, so that means... Thank you for the following. Gumshoe. Yep, it sounds like the one who put Powers to sleep was none other than the victim. Phoenix, so I was right. Penny, honey, Maya, what are you doing here? She seems to be cleaning up a lot. Penny, oh, I was just cleaning up the dressing room. I guess WP won't be using it anymore. Might as well what? Why? But WP's innocent. Penny, yes, and I'm really grateful for all you've done. Penny, oh, this week is the last episode of The Steel Samurai. Maya, now, no. Phoenix, I was wondering if I could ask you about Mr. Hammer. Penny, yes. Phoenix, on the day of the murder, he went to Studio 2. Penny, huh? I thought he went to Studio 1. Maya, he stole the Steel Samurai costume too. Penny, what? Why would Mr. Hammer do something like that? Penny, dot dot dot. Penny, oh, Sorry, crashed the synth. Penny, I guess the rumor must be true then. Maya, the rumor. Penny is Vasquez, the producer, had some kind of hold on Hammer. Penny, she had some dirt on him. He'd do anything she said, apparently. Maya, some dirt. What dirt? Penny, ... Dirt. You know, bad stuff. Maya ... I know what dirt means. Penny, about 5 years ago, they were filming a movie starring Mr. Hammer. They were using the new Studio 2. Some sort of accident happened during filming. After that, they never used Studio 2 again. They left the film set the way it was, too. Phoenix, the film set. Was that trailer part of the film trailer set then? My, double what do you mean the last Steel Samurai? Penny, I know it's a shock, but nothing can be done to save it now. Whoever really did kill Mr. Hammer also signed the Steel Samurai's death warrant. My, no. Penny, also, I hear that Global Studios is going to change its programming. Penny, they're not going to make kids' shows anymore. My, the what? Why? Penny, I don't know. It's sad, but that's what Global Studios decided. Phoenix, why aren't they going to make kids shows anymore? Penny, the studio bigwigs don't want the Steel Samurai around anymore. They want to forget all this ever happened. They wanted quiet, you understand. Me, how can they just do that? Maya, what about all the kids who love the Steel Samurai? Yeah, what about all the Mayas who love the Steel Samurai? Penny, it's okay. I'm sure the kids will be fine. They'll find a new hero to follow. Meh. No, that can't be true. My, if the program just ends, they'll be heartbroken for sure. Maya and Nick, say something. Think of the children. Phoenix, yeah. I think evidence rather than words is called for here. Here, take a look at this. Penny, and this is? Phoenix. A fan collected all of these photographs. And we put them on the witness stand until they cried. Phoenix. The kids love the Steel Samurai. The show shouldn't be canceled just so some adults can save face. I would think you would understand that better than anyone. Penny, ... Penny, ... You're right. Okay. But what can I do? Phoenix, well, for starters. You can tell me something. Tell me what it is that Global Studios is so intent on hiding. Tell me about this accident 5 years ago. Penny ... Tell me about this accident 5 years ago. Penny. Okay. Phoenix, could you tell us what happened 5 years ago? Penny, well, I can tell you what I've heard. Apparently, 5 years ago, someone died and it was Hammer's fault. Maya, has someone died? Penny, it was an accident, of course. Anyway, the producer, Ms. Vasquez, managed to hush it up. Phoenix, and at the dirt she had on Mr. Hammer. Meh. And that's why Mr. Hammer would do anything Ms. Vasquez asked him to do. Maya ... But it was an accident, right? Why didn't they just make it public? Penny, well, you know Mr. Hammer was a big star back then. They were afraid about what would happen to his career if word got out. Maya, I see. Penny, you know who knows more about this Miss Old Bag? She was here at the studios back then, you know. Phoenix, thanks. We'll try asking her. If she'll talk. Wendy, what? You're still slinking around? If you like the place so much, why don't you take over for me? Maya, the old windbag doesn't look so good. Wendy, everybody's doing their darnedest to forget Hammer. Who do they think made Global Studios what it is today? Hammer. It's all due to Hammer. Maya, she's starting to froth at the mouth. Nick. So, frothing at the mouth is a symptom of rabies in animals. Usually, it just means they're unreasonably mad. But it's also a rather stale slang. Is it something you'd see in like 60s cartoons? Just like the word whippersnapper. Maya, maybe we should keep a safe distance. Phoenix, Phoenix, I wanted to ask you about 5 years ago. Wendy, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll yeet you away and wind below. Wendy, who told? Who did you hear that from? Phoenix. Wendy, Nichols. Phoenix Nichols. Now her name makes sense. My eye. Nichols Nick, Penny Nichols. That assistant we talked to. Phoenix, all right. Anyway, we heard about the accident. It was during filming with Jack Hammer. He killed a man. Didn't he? Wendy, the whippersnappers. Dredging up dirt on someone's past like that, and the recently departed no less. I suppose you think this is fun. Phoenix, and no, I'm just doing my job to protect Mr. Powers. Wendy, and you claim that Hammer stole Powers' costume. You expect me to believe that rubbish. Rubbish is a British term used to describe garbage. Wendy, or do you have some kind of proof? Phoenix, I'm sorry, miss. Old bag, but I do have proof. Phoenix, Mr. Powers ate a T-bone steak for lunch. Correct. Wendy, well, yes. So, this is the plate that he used to eat that steak. There are traces of sleeping pill powder on the plate. Wendy, Mom's heart. went in there himself. Even a light like him must have trouble sleeping sometimes. Phoenix, except I have proof that Mr. Hammer put the pills in. This bottle contains sleeping pills. Mr. Hammer's fingerprints were found on the bottle. Wendy, ... exclamation. Wendy, ... Wendy, ... Wendy, I see. Poor Hammer. You did wrong, Hammer, rest your soul. Miss, old bag. Wendy, okay. You win. I'll talk. While this is sad-sounding music. I'm tired, see. Tired of holding it all in. Phoenix, Ms. Oldbeck. Wendy, you're right. 5 years ago, there was an accident, a fatal accident. What's worse, a paparazzi took a photo of it. That photo, well, it caused quite a stir. And guess who made it all better? Vasquez. She has ties to the mafia. She silenced that paparazzi. Metaphorically or literally? Wendy, that was the beginning. After that, she became a force to be reckoned with here at the studio. Maya, I see. I don't know why, but sometimes I write lines and I just hear it translated back to what I think the Japanese said. No, no. Wendy, but you have to understand. Poor Oldhammer never meant any harm to anyone. Wendy Nis, Olbeck. Wendy, hold on a minute. Maya, poor Miss Olbeck. Wendy, here, take this. Phoenix, a photograph. Phoenix, wait a second. Yeah, wait a second, that's why that fence was bent. Wendy, this is the picture. Phoenix, is this the trailer in studio too? Wendy, Hammer was supposed to fight with a bad guy on the top of those stairs there. He pushed the other actor, and the man fell onto the flower box fence. Phoenix, but how did you get this? Wendy, it was a long time ago. I don't feel like talking about it. Wait, was she the paparazzi? Phoenix, I understand. But that probably doesn't help us here. That gives a motive, but not necessarily the opportunity. Take that. Vasquez. ... like usual. Phoenix. She's not even looking. Vasquez. Where? Phoenix. What? Vasquez, where did you get that? Phoenix, I will. Vasquez. Old bag. Phoenix, old. Maya. She means the security lady, Miss. Old bag Nick. Phoenix, right anyway. Phoenix, Miss Vasquez. You hid this incident from the press, didn't you? And you used it to control Mr. Murr. Vasquez. ... The wind. Phoenix. The Vasquez. It's gotten stronger, don't you think? The wind. Vasquez. Tatates. Your conversation interests me. Let's talk about it more inside the trailer. Man, she went inside the trailer. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Vasquez, you came. Well then, what was that you were talking about? Phoenix. Why is she so eager to talk all of a sudden? Phoenix, Miss Vasquez. You're using that accident. You were blackmailing Mr. Hammer so you could control him, weren't you? That's why he was doing kids shows for petty change. Vasquez of... So I'm a blackmailer now. Yeah, well, that's what it was, wasn't it? I mean, sure, it was an accident. But you used it to drag Mr. Hammer down from his rightful place as a star. So, I haven't pulled anyone down from anywhere. Mr. Hammer's career went sour of its own accord. Maya, Beatbot. You were the cause. You pressured him. And to think it was just an accident. Vasquez, excuse me. What is this all about? You keep saying accident, accident. How are you so sure? Phoenix, what do you mean? Vasquez, must I spell everything out for you? Think, what would it be if it wasn't an accident? Homicide. Phoenix, dot 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 exclamation point. No? No way. You mean Miss Hammer did it on purpose? Vasquez, that is what I mean. Phoenix, but where your proof? Can you prove it? Vasquez, huh? Hence. Just think. Would he have let me run his life for 5 years over a mere accident? And I ran him hard, believe you me. Maya, B, but the security lady said it was an accident. So. Well, she was a big fan of hammers, you see. She jumps on the reporter who brought that photo into the studio. She wrenched it out of his hands, she did. Gave him a few bruises too. Phoenix. ... in brackets. So that's why she had the photo. Vasquez, she's an old fool. Of course, all the reporter would need is the negatives. He could have made a copy. But he didn't. The only copy of that photo is the one you hold. Give it to me. Now. There's the other 4 cups. Or chairs. And remember the thing about tattoos, Yakuzu. Are we going to get wrapped up? Phoenix on. Who are they? Vasquez professionals. They're good at erasing various things. Oh, so literally, not metaphorically. Vasquez, would you like to be erased? Phoenix, what? Vasquez, the trial ends tomorrow. How unfortunate. It's a shame you'll have to miss it. Phoenix, dot, dot, dot. Tell me why. Why do you want this photograph so badly? Does Mr. Hammer Dirt know? Why should D. Vasquez care about it at all? Vasquez, dot, dot, dot. I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to think about that where you're going. Uh-oh, concrete shoe. Vasquez, so long, friends. Boys, erase away. Naya. My life now. I gonna have to put Moo on blurb or something. Gumshoe, hold it right there. I heard everything, pal. D. Vasquez. You're coming down to the precinct with me now. Kinda outnumbered there. Vasquez, ... We're outnumbered 3-5. Vasquez, humph. Not bad. Not bad. Very well. It appears this contest will be decided tomorrow then, in court. It appears this contest will be decided tomorrow then. I'll be looking forward to it. Gumshoe, HAU okay, pal. Sorry, I was a little late with my entrance. I don't get many chances to practice that sort of thing. Naya, Detective Gumshoe. Thank you. I was really scared. Gumshoe, help! Don't mention it, pal. Just doing my job. The ... Meh, Detective Gumshoe. Gumshoe, sorry, it's just I've wanted to say that line ever since I became a detective. ... Okay. I've got one more job to do today. I'm sure I'll run into each other again soon. Man, well, Nick, it looks like we're getting close to the bottom of this. Phoenix, and who's at the bottom? T. Vasquez.